Welcome to the Nest Podcast, your weekly home for sports news, video game reviews, and hot takes with your hosts, Brandon, Zach, and Justin. Enjoy the show.
What is up, guys? Welcome to a special episode of the Nest Podcast. I'm Brandon, and joining me is my co-host, Zach, and we're joined by the driver of the number 7.7 Good Nuff racing car, Matt Janes. Matt, what's up, man?
Hello. How we doing?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Fantastic.
You know, you're used to going a lot faster than a podcast normally takes you, so... we want to know a little bit about what that's like, about what it's like to get behind the wheel of a race car and risk your life going out there to turn left.
Well, it's definitely a lot harder than it looks. I mean, I've been a fan. I've been going since I was a kid to Lakeside Speedway there in Kansas City. That's where we race at. Weekly racing on Friday nights. So it's just normal point system, not like what NASCAR is doing. NASCAR kind of changed up their game with the multiple races, and I don't really understand it. I quit watching NASCAR years ago. So it's more traditional points system, obviously like first, second, third.
Do you do like road, or do you do dirt track, or?
It's dirt track, yeah.
Okay. Is it like outlaw racing?
Outlaw racing is the like late models and sprint cars and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing just like the entry level racing. So this is supposed to be a class for people that want to like get into racing.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be the entry level. So it's supposed to be affordable. Supposed to be.
Sure.
But supposed to be might be the key word there. We're watching a video of you over here on the side of our screen. Can you kind of walk us through what's going on in this? I noticed that it seems to be that you turn left and then have to pull the wheel to the right in order to stay straight. That's something that I never realized until I started watching your cockpit views, that you turn right in the corners a lot more than I thought that you would.
Yeah, that's just the counter steer. You ever watch the movie Cars 3?
I don't think I caught the third one.
Okay.
No, I didn't either. Yeah.
That's actually a pretty good one to watch because they talk about the old school racing on dirt, where it started and all that stuff. And they actually have some old car characters talking about the beginning of racing. It's actually kind of neat for a Disney film, you know. It's neat and educational a little bit, but
nice.
On dirt, you turn in left to go through the corner. Obviously, you're getting it sideways, and that's called yaw. So when you're got yaw going in the corner, you're counteracting that by turning right, so you don't spin out. Pretty much.
Yeah, that makes sense. Your rear end wants to keep going that way, but you have to counteract. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
It's like drifting through the corner, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Now, is that dirt pretty thick, or is it like a nice hard packed dirt?
That track actually used to be asphalt at one point, and they put dirt over it.
Oh, wow.
So it actually started dirt. They made it asphalt, and then they went dirt again. So in its life.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. But it's probably, I don't know how much dirt. It's got to probably have at least 8 inches of dirt on top of the asphalt, a foot.
Okay.
Maybe.
Wow. It's pretty packed in there, dirt and all that.
Yeah.
You said something about it's supposed to be the more affordable. Now, whenever something happens, like an accident or a crash or whatever, how much is it to repair one of these cars?
Just depends on how bad you wreck it. I mean, you can run into somebody and it's just a matter of beating the body panel out, or I've seen cars flip. I've seen cars get the rear end thrown from it from flipping. Yeah, there's one flipping there.
Yeah. Have you ever been in an accident like this where you ended up on your upside down or on the side? Yeah.
I was out at a old friend's house. This was years ago when I was like a teenager, more like 14, I think. And he had like a little track set up in his backyard, some redneck shit. Sorry. I don't know if
You're fine. Good. You're fine. You can use
I can say whatever I want. All right.
We're all adults here.
And he had some beat up cars and we were just playing around. It was like 4th of July or something. And the car got like up on its side, but I've never like flipped over per se. But
nice.
Yeah. Some of these accidents that are on these videos, I know you sent a couple links to me one night, and they are insane how crazy it can get.
Yeah. Are you talking about the wreck?
I know a lot of the cars
compilation that I sent you. Or are you talking about like my videos?
Probably yours.
Okay. Yeah, I can get a little hairy out there. We don't have mirrors, so I can't see behind me. Due to my like head and neck restraint, I can only turn my head so far, so I can't like look that far back. I can only look like this far and this far, It's like I got blinders on almost.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's wild. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize is that it's not like driving a regular car. You can't see everything that you would normally see. Do you have a rear view mirror at all?
No, it's actually not allowed.
Oh, wow.
In dirt racing.
Why is that?
Because it'd be like cheating, because then you could just block the guy behind you the whole time.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's something I never really thought of. You could intentionally get in his way and keep him from passing you. Yeah, that makes sense. Nice. Yeah,
it caused more trouble than anything.
All right. So you said you're in the entry level. Now, do you get any sort of like winnings or anything if you place first, second, third, or whatever?
Yeah, I think it's $225 to win, and then it just gets lower and lower for each position.
Gotcha.
From there.
How do you do typically?
I think the best I ran this year is 6th.
Oh, okay.
But this is my rookie year. This is my first year actually in the seat all year.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine it's pretty competitive.
Yeah, it can be. Some nights they have a big money show. So it'd be like a memorial or whatever. And people throw more money into the pot. So it could be like $1,000 to win.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. A little more incentive. So trying to get more cars to come to the track. Because normally during a regular week race, that's like nothing big money. There's usually only like 12 cars average that show up. But there's also other local tracks you can race at.
Gotcha. Now, before like the whole COVID thing, did a lot of people come out to the track to watch the races?
Yeah, it's usually they're not coming to see our class.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, stands would usually be pretty packed on like a big show, like late models or sprint cars or modifieds.
Mm-hmm.
Stands usually pretty packed.
Yeah. I remember the only really racing experience that I've been to a couple Supercross races, and as a kid, we had a drag race strip that was pretty close, and we had a friend who had a drag car, and I went to those a few times, and a good number of people show up. I was kind of surprised, and it was all just obviously amateur stuff, but it was pretty interesting to see how many people want to come out and just watch cars race.
Yeah, and it's actually, in my mind, kind of a dying sport.
I would agree with that.
It's not what it used to be. It's more of a money game. Whoever's got the most money wins all the time.
Yep. Usually.
I don't know if Brandon's mentioned the other car, the 7 car. I'm the 7.7. There's a 7 car also that Marshall Jewett drives. And he wins quite a bit, but he's been driving for 30 years.
Sure.
So
now what's the difference between the 7 and the 7.7?
Well, it all started with the 7 car. 7's like my favorite number.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were picking a number for the car, I wanted it to be 7, but I wasn't driving, and my dad was okay with it. So it's just been the 7 car for so long. Won a lot of championships as the 7 car.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of just I'm another driver, I guess, on the team.
Okay, I gotcha. So it's the same car.
No, 2 different cars.
Oh, okay.
He's driving the 7 car, and I'm driving the 7.
I got you. So you're just kind of like a junior, if you will.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Cool. That's fun. Yeah, and I imagine that's how a lot of people get into that kind of thing, is their dad races or whatever, and gets them into that.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of family heritage out there. A lot of families go to the track that have been going to the track for generations, you know?
Yeah.
My dad grew up racing go-karts, and so did I.
Sure.
So
yeah. So I'm assuming as a race car driver, you're pretty well versed in the mechanical side of stuff.
Yeah, I know how to fix them.
Yeah, I'm assuming obviously you have to do that a lot.
Yeah, my dad taught me just about everything I need to know.
Nice.
Still learning, you know.
Oh yeah, sure. Do you do a lot of modifications? Like, do you upgrade a lot of stuff, or do you spend most of the time repairing whatever screws up on the race?
Oh, there's a lot of modifications to be done to the car, just between tire pressures, what kind of tires you got on there, wheel offsets, where you put the weight, all of that stuff affects how the car handles.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, I don't think of that. You know, some people that have been going to the track a long time that might know a thing or two, might know words like stagger and cross in the car. And I mean, you can change caster, camber, toe, but that's basic stuff that helps the car handle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want the car to turn left. The car wants to go left.
Right. So that is more prominent than, like, say, upgrading engine components to make you go faster.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, engine's where all the power's at, you know. So if you can cheat that up, which obviously I don't condone cheating. We don't cheat. I'm not going to speak about anybody else that goes to the track, but we'll joke about it, you know. And the car will drive by in the pits, and we'll be like, "Man, that thing doesn't sound like it belongs in our class," you know.
Yeah.
It's not like they got a good one in there.
Right.
You can tell we've been around it so long. You can just hear the differences between your stuff and the other guy. You know.
Sure. Now, so speaking of that, in your class, what are the limitations?
So we got to run a small block Chevy. Well, you don't have to run a Chevy engine. You can run a Ford engine, but you have to drive a Ford vehicle. It has to match the vehicle you're driving.
Mm-hmm.
But very common vehicle is GM G-Body, which is like a mid-'80s Monte Carlo, Grand National, Oldsmobile,
Mm-hmm.
or what's the other one? Just essentially like an 85 Monte Carlo. That's what they all look like usually.
Gotcha.
But get back to your question, engine. We're limited to compression ratio, which I don't know how much you know about compression ratios and stuff like that, but like a 9-to-1, I think, is what we're limited to, where other cars can run like a 14-to-1 compression ratio,
Mm-hmm.
and they have to run race gas, where we have to run pump gas.
Gotcha.
Because it's supposed to be affordable.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And we're limited to cam size, what kind of intake we can run. Have to run a 2-barrel carburetor instead of a 4-barrel carburetor. Back in the day, we were limited to exhaust manifolds instead of headers.
Mm-hmm.
So we can run headers. Also limited on what kind of transmission you can run. They got a rule book. Yeah. Welcome back.
Wow, that was crazy. My computer just completely froze and locked up on me. Sorry about that.
Day
You're
two
a
of
You're a little spotty there.
technical issues.
We're actually having a storm outside of my house tonight, so
Nice.
yeah.
So Matt was just going over the limitations that his class of racing has, and basically, you have to drive up to and including an 85 style Monte Carlo type car. It doesn't have to be that exact car, but you can't go out there with a Lamborghini and some dirt tires and compete in his class. And I think a lot of people don't realize that in certain classes you have to maintain a certain spec on your engine and everything else,
Sure.
so that you just don't dominate the absolutely shit out of the whole race division.
Yeah.
So what type of car do you drive, Matt?
To be, it's a
zombie.
Frankenstein. It's a, yeah,
It's a 49, 50, 51, 52.
It's
that
actually,
old Johnny Cash song about stealing a car one piece at a time.
Yep.
That's what your car is. It's a Frankenstein.
Pretty much, yeah. It's got like an 85 Monte Carlo body on it right now, but I think it had like a Malibu body on it a few years back or whatever.
Okay, and something that I noticed in one of the videos that I was watching of yours is there is no glass. There's no front glass. All you have is that the steel bars that go down in front of your face to, I guess, protect you from other cars' parts that happen to be flying your way.
Large chunks of mud, debris. I've seen drive shafts get spit out and go flying. Weights fall off the car sometimes if people didn't secure them down good enough. And you have to actually paint. Yeah, we put weight on the car, man. Lead weight.
Is that to help hold you to the track, to hold you down on the ground so that you don't start to lift up?
That's actually another rule. You have to weigh a certain amount. So when you have a car or you've stripped everything out of it, like there's no interior, you've stripped the body panels pretty much where they're just skins, that lightens the car a lot. Because that car started out as like 3,800 pounds from the factory or whatever, and you just gut it and it's got nothing but a roll cage and these skins on it. So you have to weigh a certain amount. I think we have to weigh 3,100 pounds. So we have to add weight at the end of the day after you strip the car and have just the roll cage and a fuel cell in the trunk where the battery also sits. That's
interesting. I would have never thought of that.
Yeah. I mean,
so what do you guys use for the weights?
Lead.
So you're not using like 45-pound plates that you would find at any gym, and you're just
we have before.
Holy shit.
We got before.
Whatever works.
Yeah, man. Weight's weight, dude.
That's awesome.
I think we got tractor weights on there, the weights that go on the front of a tractor to help counteract that. Yeah. I think we got one of those sitting back there. And
cinder blocks.
And those aren't really effective. Those take up too much room and don't weigh enough.
So what I'm learning from this is that it is definitely not the same thing as bobsledding, because if you remember in Cool Runnings, weighting down the sled is what got, what is it, John Candy? Is that who's in that movie? I believe so. Mm-hmm. That's what got him disqualified
from that movie in years, dude.
From the bobsled Olympics. So it is not the same thing as bobsledding.
No.
Everybody's got to weigh at least 3,100 pounds. I mean, I could shoot you the rules sometime if you want to look through. I don't know how much sense it'll make to you, but I could, or just go on lakesidespeedway.net, and you can look up the rules if you want, if you're curious ever.
I mean, I am curious because I'm interested in this because I think it's a really cool hobby, and it sounds like it's more of a life's passion for you as well, because I pulled up the Facebook stream whenever my computer freaked out, and I was just watching you guys while my computer rebooted. And I heard you say that your dad got you into it and all that stuff. So it's definitely been something that's been.
And my dad's dad got him into it.
Wow. Yeah.
Now,
I went to a dirt track once in my life, but I didn't have the best time. I think I would have a better time now as an adult than I did when I was a kid, because to me, I was probably 8 or 9 years old. Everyone around me was a drunk redneck guy.
Hell yeah.
I mean, nowadays that's cool. I'm okay with that. But back when I was a kid, that was kind of intimidating. And it was a dirt track, so there was dust in the air. Like I remember I had
it's not a clean environment.
No, it's not. I remember I was wearing shoes, and when I took my shoes off at the end of the night, it looked like I had like a really, really dark tan on my leg and then a white foot. And I just remember it being really hot and humid because it was in the sticks in North Carolina. So it is what it is. But I didn't have the best time, but I think I would have a better time now, especially if I got to come and see you race, somebody that I'm friends with, somebody that I know personally, and that you could kind of tell me the ins and outs. Now, when you're actually out on the track, are you able to talk to anybody back in your pits or anything, or are you just kind of on your own at that time?
No, and I don't even think it's allowed to have a headset to talk to somebody. That I think is another thing that they could see the way of cheating or whatever. That'd be like I could talk to somebody watching and they could be a spotter for me. And Zach asked earlier if we could have mirrors, like a rear view mirror, and you can't even have a rear view mirror. So that's a form they could see of cheating. You know, you could block the guy behind you kind of thing. But we do have to wear a headset. We have a thing called a receiver, and that links us to a channel like walkie-talkie of the officials talking. So I can hear officials talking, like if it's under caution or going out on the track before the start of a race. And they're just telling you, you know, this 10-lap feature, good luck, yada, yada, yada. If a caution comes out, they'll just tell you what position to go to, if depending on what kind of start they do. You know, 2-lane start, so it's like 7.7, go up or down, your second row outside or whatever. Just telling you where to start, pretty much. Telling you if something's wrong with your car, if you're under caution, like, hey, you got a flat, you know, just letting you know, or hey, something came off your car, you need to get off the track, or vice versa, whatever.
Hey, you're a fucking dumbass. Let's just keep it moving.
Yeah,
you know, stuff like that. Okay. The typical stuff that people like to tell you.
Well, it's a woman that does it, and sometimes she can get a little, what's the word? Feisty. I'll be nice. I'll say she's
overzealous.
Well, it's hard to hear, you know. You're in a car with open headers, and even under caution, you got a helmet on, which, I mean, it kind of blocks out some of the other noise, but it's still hard to hear. And she gets frustrated, so she's repeating herself, and she's like, you know. I've heard her get a little mad sometimes. It's just funny.
Now, do you listen to headphones and music while you're driving around, or is that a no-no also?
That's a no-no also.
See,
I would, but I'd be like listening to Pantera or something. Just
that's what I'm thinking. Like when I'm sitting in traffic on my way home from work or whatever, and I've got Rage Against the Machine just blaring out of my stereo. Like I'm like, yeah, let's do this. Fuck you, Geo.
Yeah. Get out of my way.
So is this something that you want to continue doing and progress up? You said this was like kind of the introductory level. Is this something that you want to keep doing and go on up to the higher echelons, the higher levels? Or is this just something that you're cool with as a hobby to dick around with?
I'm just trying to enjoy it as a hobby. And even I know that I'm not going to be very competitive because I'm just a rookie. Have I thought about moving up? I was like, if I stick with it, it costs a lot of money, man, to be honest. Like, and I don't make a shit ton of money. So I'd probably stay in this class for a few years, learning how to drive. And then if I ever do decide to move up, I would. But that means more money to spend, you know?
Yeah. I've always heard that basically what it takes to become a NASCAR driver is the money that you can afford to put into a car and just keep racing and racing and racing, and eventually you'll make it if you're good enough or whatever.
Right.
Well, and it seems like getting sponsorships would be one of the best ways to get that money to keep coming in.
Yeah. If I wanted to like really get serious, I'd go out and hound people and be like, hey, I race weekly at this Lakeside Speedway. If I were really trying to get a sponsor, I'd probably try and race at other tracks too, because there's other tracks that race on Saturday nights. So I could race Friday night and Saturday night, and that could be a selling point to a sponsor. He's like, hey, the car is on the trailer. I got an open trailer. So people would see your name going down the highway when I go to the track. Obviously, people at the track are going to see my car. You're obviously selling to a certain demographic, people that like racing, which isn't a whole lot of people, but it's people,
Mm-hmm.
It's a way to see your name on the car,
Now, your name is Good Nuff Racing.
Yeah, that's what we came up with.
Which I think is perfect.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
We are big fans of a drink called Dr. Enough. And one of their slogans is enough is enough. I think this is the perfect marriage.
I
need to put Dr. Enough in there.
I see a match made in heaven right here.
I see a match made in heaven. I think they're not a show sponsor. They don't pay us to talk about them, but we talk about them pretty much every episode.
Yeah.
Yet they will one day sponsor this show. Damn it.
Yeah, that's how you know we've made it.
We get sponsored by Dr. Enough. We made it to the big times.
I think
absolutely.
I think it'd be real fun if once, of course, COVID is over or whatever, if Brandon took the family to some sort of racing event. I was telling Matt that I've been to a couple Supercross races, which is dirt bikes. Those are real fun. And if you get like pit passes and stuff, you can get right up to the riders and stuff. And it's just fun. I mean, even if you don't know the ins and outs of it, you understand that they're going around a track and that guy's in first and this guy made a pass and stuff. I think it's super fun. One of my favorite things about races is the smell of racing fuel.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff is amazing.
Even better when they burn alcohol. That stuff smells good too.
Would you compare it to the smell of like CLP cooking whenever you're shooting guns and stuff like that?
Better than that? Way better, dude.
Really? I loved the smell of CLP when I was at the range. So I'm sure I would enjoy that too then. Yep. How about this? When all this COVID shit is done and people are allowed to actually move freely about the country and not have to worry about stupid restrictions everywhere they go, I'll come out to St. Louis. Zach and I will go watch a couple baseball games in St. Louis. Then we'll take the trip across the state to Kansas City and we'll watch you race.
Oh yeah, man.
I dig it.
Come on out.
I think that's going to be
baseball is summer sports. So come on out in the summertime, man.
I think it'll work. I think we can make something happen there.
Hopefully weather permits,
Right.
Well, yeah,
it can get rained out.
So can baseball.
And we can directly compare St. Louis barbecue and Kansas City barbecue.
Ooh.
KC barbecue.
Sounds like this is going to need a part 2 to this little interview episode. Maybe next time my computer won't shit out. Maybe we can actually do it all in person. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
Matt, do you have anything else you want to add or anything you want to plug?
I do want to add that for anybody watching, anybody interested, even you guys, I said before, lakesidespeedway.net. I think you can find a link there. They're actually live streaming the races. So you can pay like on Friday nights because of the whole COVID thing. You can sit at home and watch the races for like $12. I think you pay $12. You can watch all of the races that happen that night. And then the day after that Friday, it's only $5. So, and you can actually watch any of the races that have happened that they filmed this year for $5. So you can go to the
way of the track being able to make some money while people can't go to the races and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So fans still can't come to any of the races there then, huh?
They're limited to how many seating capacity. I think they're only allowed 1,500 people in the stands.
Oof.
And they were requiring masks in Kansas City, which is we're on the Kansas City, Kansas side. The rules are different for Missouri and Kansas, so
naturally they can't be the same anywhere. So
right, and I think it was they had to wear masks in the stand for a little bit, but people out there don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I wonder how strictly that's enforced at a dirt track.
Yeah,
I mean, but honestly, that would be the place you would probably want to wear a mask because you don't want to be inhaling dirt particles and stuff like that. But I guess these good old boys don't really give two shits about that. So
probably done wonders for my immune system. Yeah,
that's
true.
What is it? Was the old saying, "God made dirt, and dirt don't hurt."
Yeah.
Matt, we appreciate you coming on. Thanks for sharing some of your stories with us and just being candid about it. We definitely wish you luck. Stay safe out there in the 7.7 car, and we hope to see you again soon. For those listening, thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting along, and we will be back Thursday night with more Elizabethton Cyclones, and then we'll be back for our regular scheduled broadcast on Monday. Talk to you guys later. Peace. Wrong button. Peace.
I'll say this. Down he goes. One shot, JD.
Thanks for listening. New episodes are recorded